Hello and welcome to Cinematography. I'm Perignon, saving you from getting ripped off. And welcome once again to Blackoween.
Cause this is dead night, and no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. You know it's dead night. You're fighting for your life inside a killer thriller.
Well, it finally happened. Finally had a movie put me in the hospital. But we're not going to review that one today. Believe me, I need a few weeks before I go through that thing again. No, today instead we're going to be looking at The Beast Must Die.
The Beast Must Die, starring Calvin Lockhart and featuring Peter Cushing, was released in 1974 and by all accounts is the only blaxploitation werewolf movie. What? You mean to tell me that werewolf movies weren't in high demand in the black community? I guess the increase in wild hair and being hunted hit a little too close to home.
Now, being how this is the only werewolf blaxploitation movie, it should be treated with some dignity. Therefore, I'll be keeping my bitch and leg humping comments to a minimum. Hello, and welcome to Cinematography.
Oh, bats! Oh! That's wrong! That's wrong! What the fuck did you think? What the hell I was going to do? Every time I stand in front of you, so you don't have disrespect. How far can you take that bullshit? Now it's time to get this shit on! Oh, that's wrong! Oh, that's wrong! Oh, that's wrong! I'll tell you right, bitch! Oh, bats!
This film is a detective story in which you are the detective.
What? You mean I actually have to work? I just wanted to watch a movie.
It's not who is the murderer, but who is the werewolf.
Wouldn't they technically be the same thing in this movie?
After all the clues have been shown, you will get a chance to give your answer.
So, do I mail my answer in? Is there a number I should call? Hello? Is anyone even listening to me? The movie starts out with an aerial view of some landscape. Oh great, don't tell me we're going to another hidden island holding a secret martial arts tournament run by a fanatic bent on taking over the world.
Oh, don't hit back.
We then cut to a man being chased by some military men through the woods. At first it's nicely done, it's all very dramatic and suspenseful, makes you curious about what's going on. But then it just goes on forever.
Target heading towards map reference 263475. Repeat, map reference 263475. Intercept.
Ah! Just get on with it already! Turns out it was all just a test for the security grounds for the rich and famous game hunter Tom Newclef, played by Calvin Lockhart. The system is so advanced and so expensive that even Pavel, the man who designed the system for Tom, has to ask why he needs it.
Because this is going to help me hunt the biggest game of all.
I'm pretty sure the last guy I heard say that was eaten by a T-Rex. Here we meet Tom's guests, and both they and the audience is given an explanation why they were invited over.
Oh, just part of my grand design. The same plan that got you all here at the same time. Why do you think I invited you? Because every one of you sitting here in this room has one thing in common. Death.
My God, they can drag a scene out. Look, I'm just gonna say it. One of them's a werewolf.
His wife tries to talk him out what she thinks is a psychotic delusion, but Tom won't have any of it.
Tom, what if the werewolf turns out to be me?
Then I'm pretty sure your marriage would be considered bestiality.
Pow!
Jeez, what a dick.
Later that day, one of the men tried to leave the estate, only to have Tom chase him down.
What? No 70s funk. You're ruining the stereotype.
This is a rhythmic jazz number, more fit for a fight scene than a chase scene.
I want my 70s funk.
After escorting Albert back to the mansion, Tom and Prevel start spying on the guests.
Before the night's over, I'll know exactly which one it is.
You're a werewolf,
A man who, by the light of the full moon, turns into a savage and ravening beast. I understood they were very common in your country. Well, in Poland, they may rely on garlic and wolfbane strung about the house. I prefer to make use of science.
Garlic is for vampires.
As they continue to spy, the audience is given more insight on some of the guests.
She used to be Jan's pupil. Had a great scene going until he gave her the push. Jan hasn't played in over a year. Got sick with some sort of virus. As soon as Davina heard, she dropped her jet setting and came back to him. And he took her back. Could be either one of them.
She looks like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth.
Maybe she prefers meat.
Whoa, slow down there, movie. Only Bond and I get to make double in the windows.
I think you got the point.
At dinner, being an expert on werewolves, Peter Cushing starts explaining the werewolf condition to the guests.
Each man, each woman, has a mass of glands in the throat, here, the lymphatic glands. Once it served a purpose, to secrete into the bloodstream a hormone, a fluid called lymph. Now this gland is the vital element in the condition that creates a werewolf.
Well, that explains why I started having these uncontrollable urges to pee on fire hydrants and my sudden obsession with chasing cars. Although, humping the neighbor's daughter is another story altogether.
And if you think this explanation is long, wait till you hear his presentations on the schematics of the Death Star. In an attempt to prove that Tom is crazy, they start passing around a silver candlestick with the theory that the werewolf would die from the touch. Nothing happens as Tom knew it would because there is no pollen from wolfbane in the air. And naturally, being a prepared man, he has wolfbane growing in his greenhouse. When Tom goes to check up on the wolfbane, he notices someone sneaking around outside and gets attacked by Tonto. I guess he had trouble aiming through the shitty day for night scene. After that little excursion, Tom takes the wolfbane to his guests and makes sure they all get exposed to the pollen. Hope nobody's allergic. Tom might think they're turning into a werewolf and accidentally shoot them.
It's coming right for us!
After giving his guests hay fever, Tom goes upstairs to play Super Night Trap with Prevel. Discovering that being a peeping Tom is a boring hobby, Tom decides this is the best time to go to sleep.
Anything stirs, anything at all, let me know immediately.
After it trips the security sensors, Tom goes out to hunt the werewolf, but it still manages to escape. Through the magic of plot convenience, not only does the werewolf know that Pavel is guiding Tom, but he also knows exactly where Pavel is. So he goes to take care of him. You know, with all the security procedures put on this estate, you'd think the most important one would be to make the glass bulletproof. Tom returns back to the estate to find Pavel dead and the place trashed. Oh great, not only is one of them the werewolf, but they're also the monster from Jeepers Creepers. Tom goes upstairs to find that all his guests are accounted for. What, did he think the werewolf was going to hit a nightclub afterwards? The next day, Tom calls in a helicopter which he plans to use in the hunt later that night. Because Arthur looks like he's about to be checked into the bed next to mine, Davina wants to take him into town. This causes Tom to take the rotary caps off of all the cars in the estate and throw them into the lake. I'm starting to think Tom suffers from some serious abandonment issues. That night at dinner, the second verse, the same as the first, just a little bit louder and a little bit worse.
Anyone care to play the candlestick game?
You know, if this was a porno, I'd be really worried right about now.
There. No fangs. Now, why don't you take your solid silver werewolf divider and shove it?
Okay, now I'm starting to worry.
What about you, Bennington?
You know, if I had my way, we'd read about that candlestick in tomorrow's press. Millionaire hunter done to death with a blunt instrument.
Tired of the way he's treating the guests, Tom's wife gets in an argument with him and winds up cutting her hand.
No part. This is what you wanted.
Oh geez, she must be the werewolf. Why else would she be bleeding strawberry syrup? Later that night, Tom is trying to fix the surveillance system, which is like trying to make a transistor radio out of a shoebox. Seriously, what was he hoping to accomplish with that thing? When he hears the werewolf outside.
Tom, for God's sake!
It's out there on the loose. Listen.
But we're all here.
Paul Fort isn't.
He chases the wolf bee by helicopter into a nearby barn. Tom's wife shows up with their dog, and we have ourselves a good old-fashioned dog fight. I guarantee if there's a remake, Michael Vick is all over this part. Aw, oh, come on, really? Now they play the funk? After taking out the dog, the wolf escapes and attacks the pilot. Aw, and I bet you thought he'd never find love.
Always and forever, each moment with you is just like a dream to me. That's
Seeing how much damage is done to the dog, there's only one thing left to do. Tom returns back to the mansion and confronts the missing members of the house.
Where were you?
When? I've been lots of places.
Earlier, when I checked your room, and the wolf was out there on the loose, and you were nowhere to be found.
Then. Well, I had some howling too, so I thought I'd slip out and take a look for myself.
And you? Where were you?
I went out too, but like Paul, I can't prove it.
He finds Burnington dead with a bee next to him, and you think that he's spelling out the name of the killer, but no. He's just spelling out his own name. With our suspect list dwindling very, very slowly, Tom decides it's time to make another announcement.
Tonight is my last chance. The last night of the full moon. And I warn you both. Tonight, the beast must die.
Look, I'm just as tired as an intellectual quips as the next person, but really?
This seems a bit excessive.
This is the werewolf break. Have you guessed who the werewolf is? Is it Paul Foot? Jan? Davina?
I already know who it is, but let's see if you can figure it out. Hell, I gave you the same amount of clues the movie does.
Realizing that the werewolf probably coated his hands to protect them from silver, he decides to have each person stick a silver bullet in their mouth.
Time for my pill.
What a twist!
It couldn't be her! It couldn't be Charlie! Get a hold of yourself!
Yes, please, let me handle this.
Calm down. Now get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're one on the phone. Everything's gonna be all right. Please.
Sister, please, I'll handle this.
Yourself.
Now I know what you're thinking. How could she be the werewolf when we clearly saw her and the werewolf together?
Caroline had an open wound on her hand from the glass she broke at dinner. The blood from her dog, already infected by the beast, made her a victim also.
Then the original werewolf was...
That's right. The butler did it.
No, actually it's Arthur. Tom tracks down Arthur and kills him, but gets bitten, forcing Tom to commit suicide. Well, there goes that kill the original werewolf theory.
This movie, to be honest, I don't know how I feel about this movie.
As a detective film, this movie fails. As a horror film, this movie fails. But as an overall picture, it's not really that bad. The pacing is slow in certain areas, but it still manages to keep your attention throughout the entire film. Peter Cushing is always a joy to watch, and Calvin Lockhart, even though he's over the top in this movie, somehow manages to make that work. Maybe it's because he just seems like an over-the-top guy. Sorry to say, but this is one of those movies I can't neither recommend or not recommend. You're just gonna have to watch it and make up your own mind on whether it's good or not.
I'm Don Perignon, saving you from getting ripped off. I can't go anywhere.